You're listening to the Teaching Toolbox with Brittany and Ellie. Join them as they talk all things middle school.
Hey, Brittany, do you have a favorite picture book? Or what about your kids? Did they have one they wanted you to read over and over again?
My son used to love Are You My Mother by P.D. Eastman, and my daughter had me read I Love You repeatedly. What about you or your kids?
My kids loved Are You My Mother too. I don't know if I know I Love You. I'll have to look for that one. But another one of our favorites was Owl Babies. And now my older granddaughter also loves this one. It's very simple. The owl mother is gone, and the three little owl babies don't know where she went. And it's just like them waiting, them having their tiny conversations. It's very simple, but the illustrations are beautiful. It's gorgeous.
I'll have to look that one up. Yeah, I haven't heard of owl babies. How cute.
Yeah. So, if you haven't guessed it, today on the Teaching Toolbox, we're here to talk about picture books and their place in the middle school classroom. Because picture books aren't just for kindergarten, first, and second grade. Picture books are great for any classroom. We're glad you've joined us today, so let's get started.
Some might think that by the time students reach middle school age, they're a little too old for picture books. Students might even think that themselves. But using picture books in the classroom can definitely benefit our middle schoolers. Let's look at some general ways that using picture books in the middle school classroom benefits students.
First of all, there's literacy development. Picture books can support and enhance comprehension simply by providing the visual context for complex ideas. Many students can understand concepts more easily if there's a visual component, so picture books are especially helpful for struggling readers and for English language learners. Picture books are also great for vocabulary building. The combination, again, of text and images can introduce new vocabulary in a meaningful context and provide visual representation for that vocabulary. And finally, although a lot of people don't necessarily see this topic in picture books, there are critical thinking skills that are developed. Analyzing the interplay between text and images encourages students to think critically about both the content and the way it's presented. Thinking about the illustrations and text helps students practice making inferences and can help them draw conclusions.
Those are all great skills and definitely are built through the use of picture books. But I love the social emotional learning that takes place. Picture books can really help us tackle so many challenges that may be happening in our classrooms, as they can build empathy and understanding. Picture books often tackle themes like diversity, acceptance, and empathy in a way that's accessible and relatable for middle school students. And although I don't think one picture book in one classroom is going to change a student's behavior forever, you never really know when things will add up and begin to tip the scales in favor of change.
Good point.
Picture books are also great discussion starters on many different topics. They can be opening the door and getting kids talking about difficult topics such as bullying, friendship, and resilience, fear of failure, and more.
And then there's student engagement and the ease at which picture books can bring about motivation and creative expression. Picture books can increase the motivation to read, as the combination of visuals and concise text can make reading less intimidating and more engaging for middle schoolers, particularly those who may struggle with longer texts. Students can also write, create, and illustrate their own picture books, which allows them to express understanding and creativity in a different format.
So let's touch on some more specific ways we can use picture books in different subject areas. For instance, in language arts, picture books are excellent tools for teaching literary devices like metaphors, similes, personification, figurative language, and more, especially in the middle school classroom. The combination of concise text and vivid illustrations allows students to engage with complex literary concepts in an accessible, concrete way and create meaning that younger students often can't see. Picture books can serve as inspiration for creative writing assignments, and students can write continuations, alternative endings, or stories inspired by the illustrations.
When I taught language arts in 6th grade, I liked to use the book One Day in the Life of Bubblegum. This was a really fun story, and it was a great way to kick off some creative writing and teach personification. Students would all write their own stories after we read that book. That was a really fun one.
I don't think I've ever heard of that one, so I'll have to look it up for my collection.
Mm-hmm.
In social studies, there are many picture books that retell historical events and make the history more relatable and engaging by focusing in on a special individual or a particular moment in time. Or they can help us to explore different cultural aspects and traditions, promoting appreciation, global diversity, empathy, and compassion for one another.
In science, picture books can introduce and explain scientific concepts in a simple and engaging way, like the water cycle, ecosystems, or space exploration. They also bring about inquiry and observation skills as they encourage students to observe details in the illustrations and ask questions, fostering a scientific mindset and curiosity. The Magic School Bus books are a great example of science-based picture books. And then we have mathematical picture books that allow for concept visualization. Picture books illustrate mathematical concepts such as geometry, fractions, or measurement through stories and pictures. There are the Hershey's books for fractions, for addition, multiplication, weights, and measures. I actually just came across these last weekend, and the bubblegum one when I was going through all of my books. When problem solving is added to a picture book and problems are posed based on scenarios in the book, it encourages students to apply math reasoning in real-world contexts. I do have a blog post with a list of 10 great picture books for math that we will link in the show notes.
And for those who don't live in Pennsylvania or haven't visited, you might not know what the Hershey books are.
True.
Because of the Hershey Corporation that's there and makes chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have great books, and a lot of their products actually smell like chocolate too.
Oh, do they?
That's an added bonus.
Love chocolate. Oh my gosh, this is not a Hershey's thing, but about not even 5 miles from us, there's a different chocolate shop factory. And when we go to the grocery store near there, the smell of chocolate is so heavy in the air. And you go down there and, some days it smells so great. Sometimes we can actually smell it from our house.
I had a chocolate Frisbee from Hershey that I got when I was like 8, and I had it for like 12 years, and it still smelled like chocolate 12 years later.
Wow.
All right. Anyways, back to picture books.
Picture books for art teachers are out there. Picture books are great for teaching art techniques and styles, artists' lives and struggles, and more. You can have students analyze the art styles and techniques and have students create their own illustrations using similar methods. You can also teach students about visual storytelling and how images can convey narratives, emotions, and themes without words.
So let's get into some examples of books and their messages, because in my experience, I've always heard books can do this or books can do that, but then no one ever tells me what books do what. So then I spend a ton of time researching, valuable time teachers don't have, and it just feels like a waste of my time. But we'll link all of these in the show notes for you. So if there's any book that sounds great to you, you can just pick it up in the show notes and move about your day.
Awesome. So we'll start with science. In science, we have The Important Thing About Margaret Wise Brown by Mac Barnett. And a brief overview of that is, though it is primarily a biography of the children's author, Margaret Wise Brown, this book creatively delves into the life cycle, nature of creativity, and the impact of literature on the world. It subtly incorporates themes of biology, psychology, and the importance of observation and imagination in scientific discovery. This book can be a gateway to discussions about the interconnectedness of science and the humanities. And then we have The Girl Who Thought in Pictures, the story of Dr. Temple Grandin by Julia Finley Mosca.
Oh, my daughter loves this book now. They actually had to read it in college, along with some more adult works about Temple Grandin. She's a very fascinating lady.
I'll have to learn more. Well, this book tells the story of Temple Grandin, an animal scientist with autism who revolutionized the livestock industry through her unique perspective and innovative designs. Her story highlights the importance of neurodiversity, animal behavior, and humane treatment of animals. Middle school students can learn about biology, engineering, and the value of different ways of thinking in scientific advancement. Next, we have If You Find a Rock by Peggy Christian. This beautifully illustrated book explores the different types of rocks children might find and the various uses and meanings they can hold. It takes readers through a poetic journey of geology, encouraging them to look closely at the natural world and appreciate its wonders. Through this book, students can be introduced to basic geological concepts, the rock cycle, and the significance of observation in scientific study. These books not only teach scientific concepts, but also inspire curiosity, creativity, and a deeper understanding of the world around us.
If you specifically teach language arts, you might want to check out The Mysteries of Harris Burdick by Chris Van Allsburg. This book presents a series of intriguing, mysterious illustrations, each accompanied by a single line of text. The images are both captivating and open-ended, encouraging students to use their imagination to create their own stories. This book is perfect for teaching narrative writing, inference, and creative thinking. The Pencil by Alan Alberg, illustrated by Bruce Ingham. In this imaginative story, a lonely pencil begins drawing a world filled with people, animals, and objects. As the drawings come to life, they encounter various challenges that the pencil must solve. This book can be used to teach elements of plot, character development, and problem solving in narrative writing. It also emphasizes the power of creativity and the writing process. We also have Voices in the Park by Anthony Brown. This one tells the same story from 4 different perspectives, each with its own unique voice and style. This narrative follows 2 children and their parents as they visit a park, but each character's version of events highlights different aspects of the experience. This book is ideal for teaching point of view, voice, and perspective in writing. It also allows for discussions on how background and personality influence storytelling.
Okay, let's look at some middle school math books next. We have The Boy Who Loved Math, The Improbable Life of Paul Erdos
I believe that's right.
by Deborah Heiligman. I apologize if I pronounce names wrong. This biography introduces students to the fascinating life of Paul Erdos, a Hungarian mathematician known for his eccentric personality and profound contributions to mathematics. The book explores various math concepts through his adventures and discoveries, making it a great tool for sparking interest in math and illustrating the real-world impact of mathematical thinking. Then we have Sir Cumference and the Dragon of Pi by Cindy Neuschwander. This story follows Sir Cumference, Lady Di of Ameter, and their son Radius as they embark on a quest to save Sir Cumference from a dragon's curse. Along the way, they encounter the mathematical concept of pi and learn how to calculate the circumference and diameter of circles. The book cleverly integrates these math concepts into the narrative, making it a fun and educational read.
I use that book every year on Pi Day.
Yeah, it's a good one. Then we have Math Curse by John
Shazeka? I don't know.
John S. and Lane Smith.
There we go.
In this humorous tale, a student wakes up to find that everything in his day has turned into a math problem. From counting the number of steps to school to figuring out the time, the book covers a wide range of math concepts, including addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, fractions, and more. Its playful approach helps demystify math and show how it is part of everyday life. Then we have The Grapes of Math by Greg Tang. This book challenges readers with a series of fun and thought-provoking math riddles and puzzles. Each page presents a visual puzzle that requires creative problem-solving and critical thinking to solve. The book encourages students to look at numbers and patterns in new ways, promoting a deeper understanding of math concepts like grouping, estimation, and mental math strategies. These books not only teach important math concepts, but also inspire a love for mathematics through engaging stories and creative problem solving.
Next up are 3 books for social studies. First up is The Journey by Francisca Sana. This book is about refugees and migration. and it tells the story of a family forced to leave their home due to war. It captures the emotional and physical journey of refugees in a way that's accessible to students. Middle school students can explore the current refugee crisis through a personal, humanized lens, promoting empathy and understanding. It has a powerful entry point for discussing immigration, human rights, and global conflicts, and the rich illustrations help students interpret emotions, fear, and hope, which can lead to deeper discussions about the refugee experience. Next is Separate is Never Equal: Sylvia Mendez and Her Family's Fight for Desegregation by Duncan Tonatui. Sorry, I apologize if I'm saying them wrong. Covering civil rights and social justice, this picture book tells the true story of Sylvia Mendez, a Mexican-American girl whose family fought for her right to attend a white school in California in 1947, 7 years before Brown versus Board of Education. This book can serve as a springboard for learning about the civil rights movement beyond African American history, expanding students' understanding of social justice. Teachers can use it to compare and contrast the Mendez case with the broader civil rights movement and discuss the ongoing fight for equality. The book's subject matter invites students to critically examine fairness, justice, and how these themes remain relevant today. And then there's Henry's Freedom Box by Ellen Levine, illustrated by Kadir Nelson. This book is about slavery and the Underground Railroad. This is a true story of Henry Box Brown, an enslaved man who mailed himself to freedom in a wooden crate. This book details his life and his daring escape. The book allows students to engage with the history of slavery through a powerful personal narrative, fostering empathy and emotional engagement. Henry's story highlights themes of resilience, bravery, and the human desire for freedom, which can spark meaningful discussions on historical and modern-day struggles for rights. If there are social-emotional learning goals you want to target, try my favorite book, The Name Jar, by Yang Suk Choi. It is a powerful picture book that addresses themes of identity, cultural differences, and the importance of self-acceptance. The story centers around Yoon Hae, a young girl who has just moved from Korea to the United States, and on her first day at school, she feels self-conscious about her name and considers choosing a new one to fit in with her classmates. Her peers fill a jar with suggestions for her new name, but in the end, Yoon Hae decides to keep her Korean name, embracing her identity.
That's awesome. Another SEL picture book is Each Kindness by Jacqueline Woodson, illustrated by E.B. Lewis. This one addresses empathy, kindness, and regret. This book tells the story of Chloe, a girl who refuses to befriend a new classmate, Maya, despite Maya's repeated attempts to connect. After Maya stops coming to school, Chloe regrets her actions, realizing too late the impact of her unkindness. The story opens up conversations about empathy and how small acts of kindness, or lack thereof, can affect others deeply. Middle school students can relate to the concept of missed opportunities and learn from Chloe's experience with regret. It's a great tool for addressing bullying, exclusion, and the importance of making others feel welcome in the classroom.
The Invisible Boy by Trudy Ludwig, illustrated by Patrice Barton, is our next one. It includes inclusion, friendship, and self-worth. As this story follows Brian, a quiet boy who feels invisible at school because his classmates don't notice or include him, until a new student joins the class and starts paying attention to Brian, then his whole world starts to change. This book encourages students to reflect on how they treat their peers and the impact of being excluded. It helps students recognize the feelings of others who may be shy or different, leading to discussions on how to reach out and include others. Brian's journey from feeling invisible to being noticed promotes conversations about self-esteem and the importance of kindness.
And finally, we have The Bad Seed by Jory John, illustrated by Pete Oswald. This one addresses self-reflection, behavior, and having a growth mindset. This humorous book tells the story of a sunflower seed who considers himself bad because of his poor behavior. Over time, he starts to reflect on his actions and makes a conscious effort to change, even though it's not easy. The story is perfect for teaching the idea that people can change, and even those who've made mistakes can improve their behavior, thus teaching about growth mindsets. Students can relate to the bad seed's journey of self-reflection and making better choices, promoting self-awareness. And it opens up discussions about how students perceive their own behavior and how they can work toward being better friends, classmates, and individuals.
Hopefully, the 16 books we went over today can give you a head start on sharing picture books in your classroom. If you'd like even more tools in your teaching toolbox about how to use and implement them, let us know on IG, Facebook, or by commenting on our website, and we'll revisit this episode.
Check out the show notes for all the books and blog posts we mentioned, and then share this episode with your best teaching buddy. We'll talk with you soon.
Bye!
You just listened to the Teaching Toolbox. Follow them on your favorite platform for more episodes and share it with a friend.